So this is part one of the function of machine parts, and you'll need to write down the actual function in your packet and then locate the part of the machine on your diagram within your packet as well. You'll also need to know what the part does and where it's located on the actual machine. So I'll be using the smaller machine as well as one of the bigger machines. So the first part that I would like to have you label is on your paper number 12, the hand wheel. And it is located right here. It's the bigger wheel. And you always turn the hand wheel towards you. So that means your thumb goes down towards the ground. Okay, and what that does is it can run your machine manually. Okay, and it raises and lowers the needle. You'll need to remember to always turn it towards you. Okay, towards you. Alright, the second spot is number 13, the hand wheel release, and this puts the machine in neutral, meaning that you can hit the gas pedal down on the floor, but the machine will not actually run with the needle going up and down. So in order to, this is the hand wheel release, okay, and in order to loosen this so that the needle doesn't move, you hold the hand wheel and you turn the release towards you. Now when I turn my hand wheel, my needle stays put. Okay, if I was to be doing some work on the machine or winding my bobbin, then I would need my machine in neutral. Alright, the next spot, so you need to tighten that back up, make sure that it's good. The next spot is going to be our presser foot, and the presser foot is this right here, this little ski looking thing, and it is number 3. The presser foot's job is to hold down the material while you sew. So you can see it's putting pressure on this fabric that's there right now. And so that is what it does. Holds down the material while you sew. Okay. Number 26, the presser foot lifter, raises and lowers the presser foot. And this is actually located on the back of the machine. Back here, it's this big presser foot lifter here, and you'll lift it up. And as I lift it up, you can see that the presser foot also came up, and then I can slide this fabric out of here. Okay, so the lifter is this big one. Put it down, and the presser foot goes down, lift it up, and the presser foot lifts up. Okay. So that is number 26, presser foot lifter, raises and lowers the presser foot. Number 27, and I'll have you change it from lever to release, the presser foot release. The presser foot release allows you to remove the presser foot. And it's also located right here on the back of the machine. It's this smaller of the levers. And if I lift that up, you can see that my presser foot actually fell off. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Okay, it'll happen. Just need to put it back on, and then I put down the presser foot release. Okay, when I put this release down, it locks right here, and my presser foot should not fall off. Number 28, the thread cutter, is located right here on the presser foot release. And you can see it's kind of like a little groove right here. And that allows you to just cut your thread. Okay, simple as that. Thread cutter cuts thread. Okay, so we'll go back to the front of the machine here. We've got the needle plate, okay, and it's this circular needle plate right here underneath the presser foot. And the needle plate's function is it's the opening where the needle goes into the machine to perform a stitch. So if you watch, you can see that the needle goes down into the machine and then comes back out. Okay, and it grabs the bottom thread and makes a stitch. So the needle plate is the opening where the needle goes into the machine to perform a stitch. On the needle plate, we have number 25, the seam width lines. The seam width lines help you to sew a straight line, and they can help to measure your seams. So they help you sew a straight line and can help you to measure your seams. And the seam width lines are these lines right here. Okay, you can see those. It's right on the needle plate. They're just engraved in there. On the bigger machine, you can see that there's multiple seam width lines, and this big silver piece is the needle plate for this machine. Okay, also in the needle plate we've got the feed dogs, and those are those two rows of teeth looking things right there. So those are the feed dogs, number 1. The feed dog's function is to pull the material through the machine as you sew. So with the pressure of the presser foot holding down the material and the feed dogs pulling the material away from you, that's what helps you to sew. So number 1, feed dogs pull the material through as you sew. Okay, and when you turn the hand wheel, you can see those feed dogs go down into the machine and then come back up, which pulls your material. Okay, if I was more of a master sewer and didn't want the feed dogs up because I wanted to have more control of my sewing, to do curves and swirls and stuff like that, then I would turn my feed dogs off. So number 18, the feed dog control, you can cross off drop feed control and the or, but number 18, feed dog control, raises and lowers the feed dogs. Okay, and that is located right here, and you always want it pointed towards this mountain side. Okay, if we point it towards the grid, you watch the feed dogs, they do not come up and go back down into the machine. They stay down, which would allow me more control of what I want to do if I want to do those curves like I talked about. We always want it pointed towards the mountains. Okay, so they raise and lower the feed dogs, and we always want it pointed towards the mountains. Okay, the last part on this segment is the free arm, and that is this piece right here, this whole piece. Okay, and what that allows you to do is sew in a circle. And what do I mean by sew in a circle? I mean that if they were to take your sleeve of your shirt and slide it onto the machine, then they would sew in a circle this direction, okay, around the machine to make the sleeve of your shirt, the pant legs, your waistband, your neck, where all your body parts go through your clothing, okay, like your neck and your arms and your legs. If they didn't sew that way, then all of our clothing would be sewn shut on the openings, and we'd have to seam rip them in order to actually put them on. So that concludes part 1 of the machine parts.